Is that correct? Sure. Come on down. Respecting support for Hamilton's LRT project and urging speedy approval of the revised environmental assessment. Welcome, Nicholas.
Thank you. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak to you today. A councillor has been urging residents to come out if they have concerns about this project. Well, I have very serious concerns about this project. I'm increasingly worried that fear and divisiveness may lead us to refuse a $1 billion investment in our city and delay our rapid transit plans for another generation. Almost 10 years ago, I helped found Hamilton Light Rail, which is a residents group advocating for the provincial government to honour their 2007 election promise to build 2 rapid transit lines in Hamilton. I was present in 2008 when Council, on the basis of staff reports, voted unanimously to pursue B-Line LRT with full provincial funding of the capital costs. At the time, 100% funding seemed like wishful thinking, but staff worked hard to build an excellent project and social benefits. Council encouraged and extended this work through dozens of unanimous council votes. Metrolink studied Hamilton's LRT project and agreed that it will have a significant net benefit for our city. We built an excellent rapid transit plan. Hamilton's hard work finally paid off 2 years ago when the Premier came to Hamilton to announce full funding of the direct capital costs. I saw many of you there in McMaster's Convocation Hall cheering loudly at this vote of confidence on our city. Project. It will boost our economy, improve our tax base by focusing development in already serviced areas, and allow residents to move around easily as our city grows. It will directly generate thousands of well-paid construction jobs over the 5-year construction period and thousands more upon completion. It will boost our image as a competent, a large infrastructure project through to completion. You've received a letter from 10 anchor institutions expressing their confidence in LRT and its benefits for Hamilton. Together, they represent 40% of Hamilton's population. This should be a good news story for our city. Unfortunately, 2 years after getting exactly what we asked for, some people are becoming nervous and fearful. They're worried about disruption. They're scared because they don't yet know every detail about the project. Some are trying to go back 10 years and question whether we even need rapid transit. You voted just over a year ago to work in good faith with the province to implement LRT. The province has spent or committed $70 million because you said you wanted to build LRT. Stakeholders, including McMaster University where I work, have made serious investment and strategic decisions because they've taken you at your word. Businesses and institutions are spending money because they believe that LRT will happen. To back out now would not only be extremely wasteful, it would ruin Hamilton's reputation as a business partner whose word can be trusted. It would cost the city $1 billion in external investment and leave Hamilton taxpayers on the hook for paying back the $70 million the province has invested. That works out to about $350 per household that would go on to taxpayers for no benefit. It would destroy the morale of staff who have put their heart and soul into this project because you asked them to work on it. The cost to our community would be enormous now and in the future. I urge you to reject fear, be the ambitious city once again, and see this project through to completion. We're rounding the final corner. Future generations will thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Are there any questions for the presenter? Councillor Farr.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Nicholas, thank you for all of the work and the passion behind this project since day one, maybe even before day one.
I think before day one.
Yeah, and all the work you do at McMaster University, and certainly representing the Durand and the Durand Neighbourhood Association when you do. I know you're not a member of the board now, I don't think, but
I'm a member of the association, not on the board.
You have been a member of the board in the past, and it's been enlightening for me, especially in the early years. Through you, Chair, you've also volunteered on the Rapid Transit Citizen Advisory Committee. You've met many, many members of the public over that course of time early on at the information sessions and volunteering at these information sessions. Can you expand on that community outreach piece that you were part of as a volunteer, engaged with?
Sure. So my engagement all across the city, meeting with dozens of community groups and businesses, presenting about light rapid transit. I remember I spoke to the Rotary Club in Ancaster, Councillor Ferguson. Spoke to church groups, to community associations, to BIAs. I spoke to the Chamber, to the home builders. And what was remarkable is people asked good questions. They didn't really know what LRT was about. But in the end, often after thinking about it for a week or two, every single organization wrote a letter to the city endorsing the LRT project. And that was in 2008, 2009. When we didn't yet know what the cost, that the province would indeed pick up all the direct capital costs. Later on, the Citizens Advisory Committee for the city, and I went out to public information centres and concerned what the challenges were. And I think by and large what the city found was over 80% were supportive once they understood the project.
It's interesting. An earlier delegate, salespeople for our own plan, really resonated for me, and I'm sorry I forgot the delegate, but I certainly remember the words that were spoken about an hour and a half ago. You've probably been a better salesperson for this plan than all of us, including those supporters of light rail transit around this table and previous council tables. And so that's much appreciated, Nick. How did you get, you and I had talked in the past about when the Hale announcement and the endorsement came from the 10 anchor institutions last week. You and I had a quick chat, as we have over the years on this file. And you talked about 40%, they represent 40% of the population of the city of Hamilton. I think you should probably share that. If I missed it in your presentation, I'm sorry, but if you can.
Sure, I didn't actually give how I worked that out. So essentially, the Chamber on their website says they represent 75,000 jobs. 75,000 jobs is a lot of jobs. The educational institutions, the two school boards, Mohawk College and McMaster, 138,000 students. That gives you about 40% of Hamilton's population. Those are these leaders were saying that
the addendum, the revised, describe it as an addendum to a previously approved of the 52 or so. Council. How do you feel about this addendum? And if you could address the theme by some of quote unquote, this isn't what we asked for, through you, Chair.
So I think the Hamilton, we're working on both the A line and the B line. They considered phased development of the B line. The Metrolinx benefits case analysis included precisely the phase we've been given. Hamilton also considered that phase in the Rapid Ready plan. I think that there are good reasons to stop at Queenston right now. Of course, I'd love to build the whole plan right away. That would be perfect. But we've got to start somewhere. And I think building the B-line LRT on the section of the alignment with the potential for economic uplift makes a lot of sense. Also, I think it's really an excellent change that we're building the A-line BRT to service the mountain. I think the mountain should not be left out of this, and I think this is really going to enhance the utility of the system, that mountain residents will have a rapid transit line and it will connect to the B line. And I just wanted to make one point, is that it was mentioned in the fall by the city solicitor that council did in fact agree, I think at least on 3 occasions, to support this precise plan. So there were dozens of votes moving the LRT project forward.
Thank you. I have no further speakers, so thank you very much. Just going to take a minute and go back. Is Brian Smiley here?